Wander Wealthy Podcast, episode 247. Well, hello there. Welcome back to another episode of the Wander Wealthy Podcast. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, a warm welcome to you. My name is Tess Wicks. I'm the founder of Wander Wealthy, host of this show, and business coach that was once and actually still is a financial coach. But the Wander Wealthy Podcast is really dedicated to helping those who are new, aspiring, and even seasoned money coaches, financial coaches, and wealth coaches really understand the business atmosphere of building your own coaching business. We talk all things niching, marketing, sales, building your actual program, delivering the program, and also a bit of mindset here and there as well. And it also all culminates in the sponsor of this week's episode, which is my signature 12-week coaching program, the Wealthy Coach Blueprint. The Blueprint is truly a kind of one-stop shop, but also a nice 3-month boot camp of building and validating, refining and defining all the aspects of your business to make sure that what you're putting your time, effort, and energy into is really going to produce results at the end and inevitably and eventually, right? So many of the people who join me inside of the Blueprint are seasoned coaches who are just not seeing the results and don't really know how to articulate the value or really message and share the message of what they have to offer to the clients that they think are their ideal clients. I also work with a lot of people who are brand new to the world of coaching or who are even just thinking about it, but want to make sure that they build their business on a strong foundation and also maybe have no idea what money coaching actually looks like. And so want to make sure that, they know that they can help people, but they want to know how and in what capacity they can really provide a program that is truly helpful and impactful. So we explore all of that inside of the Blueprint across our 8-phase core curriculum, but you also get the 12 weeks of one-on-one coaching with me and all the accountability you need to make sure that you're making real progress through the program. So we are opening enrollment for the next round of the Blueprint, which is going to be kicking off in the early 2022 time. And we're doing something a little bit different with enrollment this time around. So you can head to the website, wanderwealthy.com/blueprint or /apply. Both of the links work. But that will take you to the landing page where you can find out all the information that you need and want to know about the Blueprint. And then click any of the buttons there on the page to fill out the application. This time, we're not doing calls unless you really want one. And we're just doing things a little bit different, keeping enrollment a little bit more kind of flexible for all of us involved. And this is, the Blueprint is really for those who know that they need something and they know that they need also a mentor and that accountability from someone who has also built a very similar business and they really are craving that in their life. So if you already know that you need that, then, we're really looking to just make sure that we're a good fit and take that next step. So head to wanderwealthy.com/apply or wanderwealthy.com/blueprint and get yourself, applied, I guess. And we'll be reaching out and determining kind of the next steps and when things are going to officially kick off in 2022. But because this is a one-on-one program, we get to do that together one-on-one and make it very personalized to you and your schedule. The other thing I want to mention, just as a fair warning, I had a different version of me explaining this and then I kind of freaked out and re-recorded it because I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm feeling that this might be the last time I run the Wealthy Coach Blueprint in this capacity. I don't know what it's going to look like yet, but there's something that's going to change so that I can make sure that I'm still fully believing in the Blueprint and what it has to offer, but maybe offering it in a different way, shape, or form. Again, don't know what that looks like, but if you've been sitting on the sidelines and thinking, I'll just dive into the Blueprint, in the future when I'm feeling ready, I think the lesson here is that ready is never something that you will feel. Ready is always a future thing, and we always believe that like someday we'll feel ready to take action, but the reality is you have to take action so that you can get ready. And if you've been waiting for you to have enough time or for the time to be right, the truth is you really do have to make the time be right for you and just make a decision that this is your time. And with the knowledge that I don't know what the blueprint is going to look like in the future or much of anything for that matter, I would say this is the time. The time is right. You are ready. And really what you need to do is dive in and take action. And obviously that can be in something else outside of the blueprint. But if you've been thinking about the blueprint and investing in it and really making a commitment to you and this business and your future clients, then this would definitely be the right time to take that step. So wanderwealthy.com/apply. And now let's dive in. Today, we're talking about, backing up a little bit, we're talking about niching and finding your ideal clients. And I really wanted to kind of take it back to basics, which is what we do with all of our clients inside of the Wealthy Coach Blueprint, even when they feel like they know their niche really well. We make sure that the niche that you're selecting is a profitable niche for you. And today I wanted to explore A, what makes a profitable niche, and B, how to pick your ideal client for your financial coaching business. So we are going to just dive on in and make it happen, right? Niching is so important. And I find myself repeating this over and over again, but I think so often we think of niching in one way and then we don't look at it from the whole picture. And so I need to just reiterate the importance of niching every time I talk about it, because I still get questions about it. Even my clients who literally binge listen to these episodes, we still need to clarify. And sometimes I even need to clarify for myself, like, why is this important? Oh, yeah. And then I have these actual real life business experiences that shock me into remembering, like, this is why you niche and this is why you don't stray from your niche. So let's talk briefly about, just even what a niche is. So when we're talking about a niche, we're talking about both a specific type of client that you want to work with and a problem that you solve, right? There has to be a group of people that have these problems or a goal that you want to help them achieve, like a very specific goal that you can go that way as well. And there's many different ways you can go very specific with the who that you want to help and stay a little bit more broad on the problem, right? Like I just help like someone's super, super specific manage their money. Managing money is kind of vague and a little bit more general, but it could work depending on how specific you go with the who. Or you can stay a little bit more broad on the who and go specific on the problem, right? You can decide, you help people who are 5 years post-bankruptcy and then improve their credit score, right? That's typically like one of the big hard things about bankruptcy is it just like derails your credit for several years. And now you want to kind of help them improve it so that, they're looking at, usually it's 7 years approximately. So you want to help them improve it so that when they're kind of 7 years post, they can start looking at, first of all, they've ideally developed better financial habits. And now they're looking at, okay, I don't know why I'm getting so into details with this, but you get the point. It's a very specific problem. You can also go specific on the who and specific with the problem. Is that going to narrow down the number of people who could work with you? Yes. But is that going to make you actually make less money and be less successful in business? No. It's actually potentially going to make you far more magnetic to the people who are a good fit and make your business run so much smoother. And that's where we need to go now with talking about the importance of niching, is that, and I've talked about this in many podcast episodes, but it's worth repeating, that the niche is for you and for your ideal clients. But mainly it's for you, right? It's for you because it's going to help you be able to more specifically find your ideal clients, because now you'll have a much better idea of where this specific group hangs out, right? And you'll be able to go there, and then you'll be able to talk about the problem that they're dealing with. And then again, they're magnetized to you because you are for them, and that is cool. The other part of this is that it makes your job as a coach and as a business owner so much easier. Because when you don't specify, you end up taking on clients with lots of different kinds of problems and lots of, they are different personalities and different kind of in different life stages and lots of different things, right? And then you end up having to put in lots of additional hours to understand their full experience. So, aside from, let's say you, for whatever reason, have a specific niche that you market to and you're able to magnetize them, but then you end up saying yes to all these people that fall out of your niche, you're not going to have a very streamlined delivery process when it comes to, delivering your service to your clients. And then it takes all of the time, all of your free time, all of your extra time to make sure that you're also delivering to those clients who are outside of the niche. Now, here's the other thing. A lot of people think that because you're choosing a niche, then you can't work with people who aren't in the niche. And that's not necessarily the case. I actually encourage my clients to take on people even before they really have their niche defined or really have their program kind of outlined and specified for a certain type of person or a certain type of problem. And that's, for the reps, for the practice, and to also help them build confidence that they can support clients in any way. However, there comes a time where you're not going to have that capacity to be able to support everyone. And it does you better because then you can focus on this subset of people. And it does your clients better because most likely, because you focus, because you've been more of a subject matter expert in that field, now you're able to deliver better results. Your clients will get better results because you understand their situation way better than anyone else. So it comes over time. The other thing is that you might have someone who technically isn't, let's say, a single mom, and maybe you're focused on single moms, but they might be, maybe it's a single dad, and they're like, hey, I know you work with single moms, but I am a single dad, and I have kind of like a lot of the same struggles, and I see your program, and it looks like, maybe we could work together. And most likely they're not going to like reach out to you in that detail, but they'll reach out to you, and you absolutely can have a conversation to see if it would be a good fit. And if what you offer to the single moms can help this single dad, then obviously you can say yes. Like, this doesn't mean that you have to say no to people. It's just making sure that you're building a business that feels scalable and feels sustainable. And niching is a big part of that. Okay. So that's my kind of soapbox on niching. I'm sure you've heard it a million times if you've listened to this podcast before. And we do have some podcast episodes that you might have to go kind of back in the archives to listen to, but they will go much more into detail about the benefits of niching, why people are so scared of niching, and I try to debunk those and share why niching is just the best and why we focus on it so much inside of the Wealthy Coach Blueprint. So let's talk about what makes a profitable niche and how to pick your ideal client for your financial coaching business. So we're going to start with, where do we want to start? We're going to start with, a profitable niche. We already talked about what a niche is, the combo of the problem you solve and the people who have those problems, and you can get specific around those people, right? But what makes a profitable niche? Well, once you've kind of identified the niche, or maybe you haven't yet identified the niche because you're still kind of thinking, well, maybe I'm really passionate about helping this subset of people, but I don't really know their problems. Or maybe I'm really passionate about solving these specific problems, but I need a better understanding of who the people are that have those problems. Then you can kind of explore niching from the profitability sort of Venn diagram. And when we think about a profitable niche, that typically consists of people who, A, have the problems that you want to or are equipped to solve. B, you have the solution to those problems. And C, those people are willing to pay for your solution to their problems. So we need an overlap. And here's the deal. There's going to be people who have the problems, or people that fall into your kind of ideal client, the people that you really want to serve, who just see no value in making the investment. But I can promise you that there are people who see value in working with you, who want that one-on-one experience and that personalized experience of getting help. And oftentimes who don't even know that help is out there, but they are willing to pay. We do still need to explore that. And what we do inside of the blueprint is we explore through doing a lot of work in the market research and really working to identify first a niche, but then validating that niche and validating not only the profitability, but also the, ability on your part to deliver and serve what it is that they want and are, again, willing to pay for. But when you want to really consider a profitable niche, you have to think about the problem that you solve, the solution that you can provide to that problem, and then making sure that the people with the problems that you solve are willing to pay for those solutions. Okay. And in the money coaching world, there's a big, big issue with people not believing that people will pay for money coaching. There's a big issue with coaches, money coaches, or money educators, or just people who want to help others with money make the assumption that no one wants to pay for money coaching because they think, well, it's a catch-22. How can I charge someone who, their biggest problem is spending money or credit card debt or whatever it is? And this is often something that we really just need to reframe, right? Money coaching isn't just another expense that you put on a credit card. Might it have to initially go on a credit card so they can get the help that they deserve? Absolutely. It might have to. But it's not an expense. It's an investment that they might just be leveraging right now because their resources are taken up in ways that they don't even have the awareness to see, right? And we as money coaches, what we do is we spread open that awareness door. We whip it open and we help people see what it is that's going on in their financial life, where the money leaks are, where they're spending money where they don't have to, where they might be getting ripped off, where they need to negotiate, where they just need to bring in extra income, where they need to focus their time, effort, and energy. But also we help them develop awareness around their behaviors, the behaviors that are leading them to this problem in the first place. So although paying for money coaching seems like a catch-22, it could also be a catch-22 in the opposite way, right? Because you didn't pay for money coaching, you've gotten yourself into this situation. Now, I don't really like thinking of it that way because I don't think anyone should have to pay for money coaching, but it is something that you get to do, and it is truly an investment in your future because even those who are doing fine, but they could be doing better, could benefit from money coaching, right? Even those who don't have to have a money coach could benefit enormously from money coaching. And what we need to do as money coaches is get way better at understanding the value of what we provide, because what you provide as a money coach is actually invaluable. Like the intangible benefits that my clients have experienced, I think are far and away more valuable than the actual tangible benefits that I can quantify and calculate, right? But what I can tell you is that I have quantified and calculated that my clients have doubled, 10x'd, 100x'd their investments with me. Okay, some of them only get double, right? But even if you get your money back and then double it, isn't that worth it? But then the fact that a lot of my clients have 10x'd and 100x'd their investments, now I know that's worth it, right? But we need to be better at understanding how you can quantify that and how you can showcase that to others, because that's what's missing here, is seeing financial coaching as an investment and allowing your clients or potential clients to see that as well. And for you as the coach to drop the assumptions that people won't pay for this. We got to drop that, especially when we go into understanding and refining or defining your niche, is to do the research, make sure that they are willing to pay, but also know that there's a subset who will and there's a subset who won't. And we really need to pay attention to the subset who will because it does exist. So that was my soapbox, but I had to discuss that because it's one of the biggest objections that comes up time after time. And I know it's also just a limitation that we all experience as people who want to help others with their money. But then we are also probably naturally frugal people who are like, oh, I'm asking people to spend, more money than they probably ever imagined or have ever allowed themselves to spend on themselves. So that they can improve their financial future and probably their future in a lot of other ways. But we need to reframe this investment as an investment just as much as we need to help our future clients see it that way. So bringing it up because it's part of figuring out what a profitable niche is. And that's a key piece. But drop your assumptions. Don't make assumptions about what other people can afford or are willing to pay for until you've actually had that conversation. All right, so we're going to wrap it up with how to pick your ideal client for your financial coaching business. So obviously, we need to get to the point where we can do the research and really make sure that they fit in to the profitable niche Venn diagram. But in order to get there, I think a lot of people have a hard time just initiating this. Now, some of you probably have an idea, and that's great. Start with that. But some of you might be like, oh, well, I have an idea, but it's still pretty broad and I feel like I could narrow it down. So here are a couple ways where you can at least start. First, you can think of a real life past or current client. So obviously, if you've been working with clients already, but you have worked with a variety of clients and you know that the power is really, or I should say, the riches are in the niches, then think about a client that you really enjoyed working with and who maybe you were able to help get really great results. And you can start there. Identify, what is it that they do? What is their kind of demographics, but what are their psychographics? Really determine some things where you can see, okay, this person kind of rolls with this crowd or in these communities, and I can pinpoint those communities. And I also know the specific problems that this person had as it relates with money. And those are the problems that I enjoy and also can heavily focus on and provide a solution for. An alternative, especially if you haven't had clients in the past, you can think about a past version of yourself. So that's usually the easiest is if you've gone through your own transformation story and you can kind of think about the situation you were in and how you were able to pull yourself out of it and develop, in yourself into the person that you are today and the financial situation you're in today. You can start there. Think about who you were pre-transformation and what your demographics and psychographics were. Maybe it's a life stage. Maybe it's a career, a specific career path, whatever it is that would help to define. And again, so that we can much more easily figure out where these people who are basically previous versions of you, as kind of creepy as that sounds, but it's fine. It's fine. This is business. We're doing it. Where these people are hanging out so that we can go out and explore those communities and understand if, they're also dealing with similar problems, which they probably are, or have similar goals, which they probably do, and work on developing the solutions for that. Now, the third kind of idea is to think about someone who you can help, but maybe you haven't worked with yet. So this is great if you've had clients or not, but maybe if you've had clients, maybe you haven't had clients that you're really, they're not the ideal clients by any means. If you've not had clients, then this is a great place to start as well, is to think, okay, well, I, went to college with this person and we've had a couple, maybe you've had a couple conversations with them and given them some advice here or there, or they've said, hey, you look like you really know what you're talking about, and you're able to kind of answer some of their questions. Maybe start there. Think about, again, their demographics, their psychographics, their life situation, their career, anything that you can basically look and be able to determine what their situation is, but also really figure out what communities, what groups they roll in, where they go to seek that advice, so that you can find more of them, basically. And so these are a couple places and ideas for you to get started with thinking and narrowing down your niche. And then again, you want to run it through the profitable niche Venn diagram, and then take it to the next step where you're interviewing, having conversations, and doing the market research. Now, I know that the market research is, I think, for a lot of people, I know that it is a little bit nerve-wracking. You potentially have never talked to especially strangers about their money and asked them questions. But also it can be hard. I did market research for years where it was just so ineffective. I would even do interviews, but I didn't know the questions to ask. And then I wouldn't get anything out of it. And I didn't really know how to use that information to my benefit. And in the Wealthy Coach Blueprint, we have a specific process that we follow with specific questions to ask to get so much useful information. And so many of my clients, whether they get to the end of the Wealthy Coach Blueprint and they say, even if I didn't get any clients from the Wealthy Coach Blueprint, the most valuable thing that I did was that market research. It brought me so many aha moments. It made me realize that a lot of the assumptions that I was making before just weren't accurate about the people that I want to help. And it actually helped me build my program and build an entire marketing plan so that I know, what to say and when to say it, and how to market this program and talk about this program so that it is relevant and it resonates with my ideal client. So that's what we focus on hard inside of the Wealthy Coach Blueprint, because it truly, truly changes the trajectory of your business. If you're willing to take that extra step, have the courage to reach out and ask for an interview, but also just ask the right questions and get that information and tune your ear to what you need to hear so that you can build a program that they actually want to pay for and they're willing to pay for, and that you can obviously provide the solutions too. So if you're interested in the Wealthy Coach Blueprint as it stands today, 12 weeks of one-on-one coaching with me where we do all of that work plus so much more, head to wanderwealthy.com/apply and fill out the application, and then I will reach out to you. Like I said, I'm still in this current round of the blueprint in the delivery mode, working with my clients. But as we get closer and closer to 2022, we'll be looking to support you in the next round and making your business finally make sense for you and work for you. Head to wanderwealthy.com/apply so that you can get the details, submit your application, and determine if the Wealthy Coach Blueprint is the best next step for your business. So wanderwealthy.com/apply. If you want to check out the show notes of this week's episode, head to wanderwealthypodcast.com. And until next time, I hope you wander wealthy.